Hi, I'm Matthew Lerner, and I'm an assistant professor of psychology, psychiatry, and pediatrics at Stony Brook University on Long Island, New York. And my work and research focuses on this idea of social competence. What do we mean by being socially competent? What does it mean to be able to have successful, fluid interactions with people? And in particular, we focus on this in kids who have difficulties in this domain, primarily kids with autism. And I got interested in this topic actually having years ago worked in schools and camps and things for kids on the autism spectrum. And while I was doing it, just realizing how different every kid was, how their needs were so diverse, and how the things that they liked or didn't like and worked for them and didn't work were also so diverse. There were, some places I would work where one child would literally make up a song about how much he loved it, and another child would throw a chair at my head and tell me how much he hated being there. And so what we want to do in my lab is understand all of those differences and use them to do a better job of designing approaches to help. So what I mean by that is, first, we want to do a better job of kind of measuring and knowing what we mean by what goes into the sort of soup of social challenges for kids. We talk about things like theory of mind, which is the ability to know somebody else's perspective, or emotion recognition. Can you read how another person feels? Well, it turns out, both of those things are at play if when you're sitting down to talk to somebody and trying to say, all right, do they like me? Do they want to talk to me? What should we talk about? Are they interested? Are they bored? And different kids have different mixtures, different ingredients of those things, if you will, that lead up to their ability to actually engage or not, succeed or not, make friends or not. So we're developing new kinds of tools, and we're really interested in sort of coming up with new ways of measuring those things so we can capture that individuality, all of the quirks of each individual child, while still understanding that the thing they have in common still is going to be these social challenges. So how do these things come together to add up to those challenges? And then we use that to try to design better, more precise treatment. So let me give you a really good example. Something we're very interested in is this distinction that we talk about between social knowledge and performance, knowing what to do and doing it. So some kids, their challenge might be, if you ask them, what are you supposed to do when you meet somebody? They might not know, or they might give you the wrong answer. They might say, I should punch them or run away screaming, rather than smile and say hi. So for them, maybe we might want to assess that and design approaches that really teach them those rules that they are lacking and they want to understand but maybe can't. But there are other kids who actually do know the rules, but there are lots of things that get in the way of their ability to do it, their ability to perform those interactions in a way that's richly rewarding and successful. And so what we've done actually is we will try to focus on, we'll actually create different ways and different kinds of groups and different kinds of lessons that are targeted for each of those sets of kids, so that ultimately what we're doing is not just saying social stuff is hard for you, let's just kind of throw the book at you and try everything. But instead trying to say, well, let's understand why social things are hard for an individual child. How do we use that to target those treatments? And then how do we assess if those treatments are actually working? So we do this all in kind of an evidence-based way, with the goal of ultimately, we're trying to create almost a menu that a child or a teacher can use and say, all right, for my individual child in this classroom, with this profile, what might work best? What does the evidence say? And how can we do a better job of helping these kids to connect effectively to their social world?